Ta-da! The new view from the cockpit. She's clean. What did you fuck up this time? Okay. Yeah, she was at a dealership. The bars I bent during my little pre-Namibian crash. It was so bad that I noticed the levers were actually chewing into the barkbusters, and the barkbusters are still a little bit bent, but manageable. So I went to a little place called MechSpec Racing in Kailami. Nice little workshop, great couple of guys, real friendly, cheap labor rates. So I asked them, check the forks, check everything through, accident damage report. And they just said, look, your bars are bent. Okay, how much? KTM, around about $1,800, $1,900. That's $110? Yeah, okay. So I said, okay, well, I've already had 2 KTM bars. What else do you have? And I remember from my KLR days, Protaper came to mind. It's like, okay, what do you got? So, okay. Unfortunately, in silver, they gave me a pastrami. I've got no idea who this gentleman is, but it's an unfortunate name. I have to Google him probably. Regardless, they fitted that smooth. And the best thing is, these bars are also slightly higher than the OEMs. So if you didn't want spacers, or you wanted looking at spacers, but not that much, consider one of these. If nothing else, keep a spare when you crash. The only thing the guys didn't do properly were the grips. The OEM grips, this one was loose. Whatever glue they used never solidified or cured, even after 24 hours, even in the sun, didn't do. So I thought, bugger it, let's put a new pair of grips on. No installation video, because if you own a KTM 1190, this is really straightforward. You could just rip this thing off, not a problem, especially on these Protaper bars. It's knurled. I took the grip, I put isopropyl alcohol in it, shook it around like they tell you at RevZilla, poured it out, and then just shoved it over. It went bang. No need to cure, this thing is already rock solid. And also, I also cleaned the bar, get all the gunk off, isopropyl alcohol again. Now I know you can use grip glue and all that, but this was absolutely no glue, just isopropyl alcohol. You're done. So, another lesson learned. Coming to the other side though, KTM and their throttle tube, it's a pain in the ass. The throttle tube is not smooth tube plastic. KTM has actually got ridges to fit their OEM pads, like little cutouts here. In here, it's basically plastic bit, plastic bit, plastic bit, almost like a checkered design, quite high and sharp as well. And then at the end, if you can imagine a circle, they've got another little ridge all around, which grips the OEMs. Now, this one doesn't have it. It's basically flat, round tube inside. Flat, round tube. Jesus, I'm good today. But it does fit. There's plenty of meat here, so you're never going to feel that. And no need to cure because of all these ridges and imperfections in here. Again, isopropyl alcohol, this one took a little bit longer, I have to admit. I had to pour alcohol inside and just slip that on. So it was a little bit of a mission. Go slow, because the ridges in here will actually hold your grip, making it bubble. And you can tear it if you're not careful, so you just move it like a worm over until it's all set. Taking this thing apart, please, I don't even need to give you an intro here. You loosen the 4 screws in the back, gently just pull the front off, lift the tube out, and you're done. No problems whatsoever. Anyone can do that. Don't be afraid of this. The bar, I could have installed it as well, but this may be news to you. I'm very lazy, so bugger it. And besides, the labor rate was cheap, and again, laziness, I didn't want to clean her. So they cleaned her for me. Which is getting to be a habit. I don't clean this bike, just the dealership always does when I mess up. Regardless, one last thing. The bar is straight, everything is straight, but the wheel wasn't straight. And here, little tutorial, I'll put the link down from a gentleman who did the best how-to video, really. Because all what you have to do, you leave the top forks bolted, you loosen the bottom or middle triple clamp, you loosen the fender, and I say loosen. Okay, you don't take out any bolts, you loosen everything, including the front wheel axle, the pinch bolts, all of those. Make sure they're loose, that you can turn them by hand. And then you stand up on the bike and put your weight downwards, not forwards, downwards, and you bounce a couple of times. Once you've done that, you go to the front, have a look, is the wheel straight or the handlebar straight? And if it all lines up, you start slowly tightening, bolt there, crisscross. And that's it. That's how you align your steering and your wheel. Here's the view inside. Throttle tube. See, the KTM throttle tube fits perfectly into all those slots. What a pain in the ass. Hopefully you can see that. So, just in case the other grips didn't fit, I just took this off. Oh, easiest way to take this one off, peel it back, shoot WD-40 into it, and then both sides, and then slowly get it off. If you have a WD-40 can with one of those long straws, shoot it in as much as possible there, massage it all the way up, and then you can just take that off. Other one, not a problem. Thicker material, also spares. Honorable mention today. My friend Paul, we changed his brake disc and brake pads today, and that guy should be given a medal. His brake pads had no brake material left on the rear. Nothing. He was grinding metal against metal. This is his rear disc. And he kind of got, how do we say, he noticed that the rear brake had a problem because it does this. Think that might be an issue? Maybe. It's basically all these bolts or compression or whatever you want to call them are loose. All the spacers are rattled loose. To top it off, because he was grinding metal on metal, there were actual metal shards coming off the rear brake disc. And they collected around the ABS sensor, because that's magnetic. So, gentlemen, if you've got that issue, clean your brake sensor as well, okay? I just got a good idea. You know what? If you could take a couple of bolts, nuts, you could actually make a pretty cool key hanger out of this. Just need to clean it up. Next DIY project.